welcome to our podcast. In this podcast, we will be discussing geopolitics with our friend Utkarsh Paliwal, which have an expertise in this topic. What do you think about India-China relationship? Can you tell me about its history, origin, and current relevance with that?
Yeah, so first of all, Spursh, very thanks to you for inviting me in your podcast. And before that, I would like to inform or declare clarify my to our listeners that we are neither the experts in the foreign relations, and we are no one which you
Yes, of
should
course. Yeah,
depend only for the foreign
that's right.
policy and foreign relation matters. We are just two friends,
Two
just
friends.
talking very informally about the foreign relations and the
Very frankly discussing the topic.
yeah. So as you have asked about the India-China relations, so we all know now that the India-China relations are not, I would say, at a good pace, or which you can say that we are very friendly countries, because as we have seen in 2020, when there was a conflict between India China in Ladakh.
Yes.
After that, the relations have been impacted negatively, and
But they were bad. But were they bad since the ancient times?
I would say they were not bad since ancient times. If we talk about ancient times, there was a cultural and religious exchange between India and China.
I think Marco Polo, a great philosopher, also visited India during ancient time. So when this happened, it happened that the relation deteriorated between our two countries.
As far as I know, after the formation of the People's Republic of China, that it is China today, which is governed by the Chinese Communist Party,
Okay.
which was formed in 1949, that I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Initially, the India was the first country who has opened his embassy in India, the only non-communist country which has opened in its embassy in China. But
That's a very generous step of India.
yeah. But initially, the relations between India China are, we can say that they are good, because our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was, I would say, a socialist man. He liked the socialist policy very fancy and good.
And as I know that he also gave China a UN seat when India voted.
Yeah, there are many people who talk about that he offered the China.
Do you think it was correct?
It can be true, because there are letters written by the Prime Minister himself and his speeches in the Parliament that the UN should give a seat to China before India, because or it should give seats to both, because only giving seat to India will affect the relationship between India and China, according to him. So it can be true, but we have no facts.
But what I think that India at the time Nehru thought that to give the seat to China will be a very generous step, because that time they didn't know what China will be going to do, and what they did. Even India was surprised in 1962. So China betrays not only us. China had a history of wars on border with disputed borders among all the countries it's surrounded by.
Yeah, you are right that China has a very wrong history and a very wrong name in the history.
From Taiwan, Japan, everywhere.
There is saying in the external or these world affairs matters that China borders to 18 countries, but it has dispute with more than 20 countries.
That's a different calculation.
Yeah.
Even a small country like Bhutan, China has not left that also.
Yeah, because before that, before the Chinese conquered or invaded that Tibet,
The
Bhutan,
one China policy.
yeah, the Bhutan used to be bordered with that Tibet, but after the Chinese invasion of Tibet, The Bhutan claims that Bhutan and some parts of India like Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh are also the part of the China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's discuss the impact of US foreign policy on India. So I think the US has been double-minded toward India. Sometimes it has supported India, but in cases like the East India, Bangladesh Liberation War, America sent Pakistanis the submarines and some his navies to stop India. That time, and also there was a case when India was trying to test its first nuclear missile. I think, and there was also a movie made on this.
Yeah, I would say that before the 1990s, US has always been sided with Pakistan. But we can also see as it because India was more aligned
Toward Russia.
towards Russia. However, we used to say that we are not aligned, but we know that we are aligned towards Russia. And at that time, there was a Cold War between the US and the Soviet. So US always has sided with Pakistan. But even after 1990s, after the fall of Soviet Union, when India was not that much aligned with Russia, we can say that the US has had two faces, where sometimes when it has beneficial for the US, it has sided with India, but at the same time to keep India in its hands, to stop India not expanding too much, not becoming that much powerful. US has always used Pakistan as a weapon against India.
Because I think US don't want India to dominate the South of Asia.
As we can say, US is a superpower. Some people will disagree that US is not a superpower no more, but I would say US will be a superpower at least not more than a decade or so, but at least for a decade, US will be a superpower.
Unless Biden destroys.
Yeah, that can be a different case. Yeah.
So now let's move on to another topic, Indian election and political landscape. So what do you think? Who will win 2024 election? Is there any doubt?
I would say it will be a joke if we doubt that who is going to win the 2024 general election.
I think we would discuss what will be the margin of the winning.
Yeah, that can be debatable because in India you cannot exactly predict that what gonna happen in this election, whose party gonna that much of seat or that. But just last week, the Prime Minister himself in the Parliament stated that the BJP is going to win 370 seats at least.
But there are some people who are questioning the BJP move to inaugurate Ram Temple just before the election. As some Shankaracharya and Sadhu said that this temple cannot be inaugurated. I think they said around 3-4 years it will take, but BJP did this. And I have also seen that only one floor of the temple has been built, but BJP inaugurated it. So how do you see this step? Was it a valid step, or was something for vote way?
Yeah, I agree with you that the temple has not been completed yet. But if you have seen, I don't know you have seen or not, but in many temples, it happens that if the Garbhagriha, which is the main place where the idol is,
the Lord Rama is
consecrated, if the Garbhagriha is completed, then we can do the Pran Pratishta and we can start worshipping in that temple. So this claim that the temple has not been created fully, the temple has not been completed, how can you do the consecration? This is not valid. And if I comes toward that BJP has scored some political points by consecrating the temple, I would say yes, BJP has scored political points. But you have seen BJP is speaking for the temple. They have the temple in their.
So guys, let's give shout out to our today's sponsor, NASA. Thank you NASA for sponsoring our videos and sending our podcast to different planets across the galaxy and helping different life form and aliens to hear us. And don't forget to check their new Artemis mission, which will be sending humans to moon after 50 years.
BJP is speaking for the temples since 90s. BJP is advocating for the temples and it is working for the temple since 1990s. So if we say that BJP is just politically doing this now, I think this is not a right point to argue.
Okay. So now let's talk about India's role in the global governance. And in the past few years, since 2014, we have seen that Narendra Modi has visited many countries, unlike any other prime ministers. So, and we can also see that many Indian diasporas in different nations are also happy about that. But some people are saying that Narendra Modi is ignoring the problems India is having and roaming the world. And also there are some things that people are against the Make in India policy, that it has been a complete failure. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to talk about the Prime Minister's foreign visit. So when in 2014, the Shri Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister of India in his first term, he has traveled and visited to many countries to make good relationships. I would like to just give example of UAE because the Prime Minister is now in UAE today. In 2015, the Prime Minister visited UAE and became it was the first visit of Indian Prime Minister after almost 3 decades. But after that, the Prime Minister is now today for the, I guess, 7th or 8th time in the UAE. And we can see with the investment, with the role of UAE in supporting India in various platforms, it has become very positive because of these visits, I would say. And after, what was your question?
The question was that what was the impact of Make in India, which Narendra Modi started?
Yeah.
Do we have any deals in that, foreign deals, or is it benefiting India?
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to say that Make in India is a program to support and make products in India, not just only for India, but also for the world. Because India, we know that it is a very big country with a big population. Also, with this much of big country with population becomes the huge.
The more the population, the more the baggage is on the
Yes. And if we only import goods from the other countries, how can we survive?
Yes.
A country, leave out the country, anyone cannot survive only by buying or importing products from other countries.
If someone spending is more than his saving,
yes,
he will be in trouble. Just like
you are right.
Yes.
Yeah. So about the success of Make in India, it will not become success in just a decade.
No, but I have seen that India also is exporting Tejas aeroplanes to some countries, and this can be a good step.
There are talks about this. There will be deal in the future. We hope so, but not only in Tejas. If we talk about the medicine, India has become the pharma of the world.
Yeah,
it has become. It is providing cheap vaccines and medicine as the fraction of the cost what we get from the Europe or the American companies. Apart from this, we have also grown in the defense sector. Also, we are making many our defense equipments in India now. I would like to give you an example of Make in India in smartphone sector.
Oh, yes.
In 2014, India has only 2 smartphone manufacturing facilities.
Okay.
But now India has more than 200 smartphone manufacturing facilities, and India has become the second largest mobile phone producer
That's
or
a huge
manufacturer.
number. That's a huge number. It has been a great leap for
As we are sitting in Mathura, Noida is not too far from here, and Samsung has its largest smartphone manufacturing facility in Noida.
Wow, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
So that was all from our today's podcast with Utkarsh Paliwal.